Shalom, brothers and sisters, brother Yahweh I want to give all honor, glory, praise to Yahweh Shem and Mashiach Malak Yahweh Shai. Peace, salutation, and hopeful legs scattered about across the four corners of the earth, learning and teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Grace and mercy be bound to the hopeful elected too as well. Shalom. I just want to get into a lesson, how Captain Tazariak said that women are stronger than men. Yes, because women aren't stronger than men. We're going to get into that. And I just had, in that blog lesson, I just had to show what the $200 was used for. It wasn't used for garments, or either wasn't, that didn't count as you buying the garments, is what I mean by that. The Yahweh he didn't pay for the garment. So I had to show that as well. I showed the process too of the shirt process. But for this lesson, let's get into it, man.
Talk about the women in the Bible. What is the strongest thing outside of God in the Bible above man or anything else? What is the strongest thing? Do y'all know? A woman. Yeah. So shut up with that bullshit. When you go into First Ezra, stop. When you go into First Ezra, the 3rd chapter, it says the only thing stronger on the planet than a woman is the Most High. So when y'all saying that, y'all like to cherry pick 2 or 3 scriptures where it talks.
Yeah, he's going off. He said women are the strongest in the Bible above Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, which is that's going off. And he said verse Edges 3. We'll get into that. Verse Edges 3. It says the truth is above the woman. The men of the truth are Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai and the 144,000. You can't do nothing against the truth but for the truth. Like I did a lesson on this a couple months back on California camp. That's the spirit. It was a California camp lesson. That's the spirit, man, because we got to get into this again. 16. Book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow, and thou shalt bring forth children. In sorrow, thou shalt bring forth children. You know, that sorrow is just going into like the pains, you know, that labor pain when you give birth. So in that sorrow, that you will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. That sorrow is going into like that sorrow, thou shalt bring forth children. That's that labor pain during while a woman's having a baby. And thy desires shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Having a rib, that's a helpmeet for Adam. He had a helpmeet. That's that helpmeet that Adam had, was Eve. That's what she was made for, to be a helpmeet. A woman means a female servant. So that's what she is. She's a servant. So a servant can't be stronger than a man. That's going off. And it says the husband, he shall rule over thee. He shall rule over thee because he's stronger than her, and he's the head, man. He's the hedge. 1 Corinthians 11, we'll go into that order too as well. Shall rule over thee. That's going into, man, the 1 Corinthians 11, the order. We'll get that one too as well. Let's get this one, 1 Corinthians 14, verse 34. It says, let your woman keep silence in the church, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. Yeah, so they're supposed to be in obedience. Women are supposed to be in obedience. They're supposed to be obedient and keep silence to the church. You're supposed to, right there, they're supposed to be obedient to the man as well, right there, and keep silent in the church. They're not supposed to be speaking during the church. They're not supposed to be speaking, man. But they're commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. So this is a commandment that they're supposed to be under obedience. Let's get this in the NLT. Women should be silent during the church meetings. It is not proper for them to speak. They should be submissive. Submissive, that's what a wife is supposed to be to her husband. Submissive, just as the law says. And that's what a wife is supposed to be, submissive to her husband. She's a female servant, like I was getting into. So verse 35, and if they learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. For is it a shame for a woman to speak in the church? Yeah, they're supposed to ask their husbands at home if they have any questions. They're supposed to ask their husband. They're not supposed to ask anyone else. So it says it's a shame for a woman to speak in the church. She's not supposed to be speaking in the church. Stronger than a man, she has rules to follow, to be under obedience. And she's supposed to ask her husband if she has questions. Chapter 2, verse 12. It says, "But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man, but to be in silence." She's supposed to be in silence. See, it's like what we read in 1 Corinthians 14. She's supposed to be in silence in the church. She's only supposed to ask her husband questions. And so she's not supposed to be teaching, and she's not supposed to usurp authority over the man. She's not supposed to have authority over the man. There's no authority over the man because she's not stronger than the man. Okay? So Captain Tazaryak is going off. Supposed to be submissive. Let's get this in the NLT. "I do not let women teach or have authority over them." Yeah, women's not supposed to have authority over a man. Let them listen quietly. They're supposed to listen quietly. That's what it's going into, but to be in silence. She's supposed to listen quietly. Let's see it. Verse 13, "For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression." So we see that was Adam. He fell to the woman. The woman was being deceived, and then that was in the transgression. Verse 14, the NLT, "And it was not Adam who was deceived by Satan. The woman was deceived, and sin was the result." So Adam following the woman is where he fell. So we shouldn't follow a woman in these last days. Everything was written was for a foretime for our learning. This all goes back into the garden. When the Satan, he brought this philosophy on the woman, thinking that she could be above a man and be put on a pedestal. And then that's that philosophy that's pushed in these last days, and women thinking that they can be pushed on a pedestal and be above a man. And that's why Captain Tazaryak thinks women are stronger than men, which is going off. When do you ever see a woman knocking men out in a fight nowadays? Like, hey, that would have been on World Star. That would have been even. They don't even allow them. It wouldn't even be allowed for them to box a man, the top boxer to box the top woman, because we know who would win. They wouldn't win. Even UFC, they wouldn't win. So we see that this is just going off all the way around. So let's get verse 15. "Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in the faith and charity and holiness with sobriety." We see women will be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. In childbearing, that means if they're pregnant, they will be saved during that time. If they continue in the faith, fight the good fight of faith, be in charity, be in the fruits of the Spirit, and holiness, they be set apart, and then sobriety. Sobriety, it goes into modesty as well, as we see in the sobriety goes into soundness of mind, self-control. So being sober, you can drink moderately. And like in the NLT, it says, "But the woman will be saved through childbearing, as assuming they continue to live in faith, love, holiness, and modesty." And that modesty as well goes into it. The straight folly, something to laugh about. He said that women are stronger than above men. In the account, in the first Edges 3, it says that the truth is the strongest. So that's why I said this is just straight folly. So let's get to 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. "Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto your wife." You got husbands. That's part of the role, to give honor to your wife as unto the weaker vessel. Let's get that word, weaker vessel. Unto the weaker, weak and firm, feeble. Lacking physical strength, especially as a result of age or illness. So we see right there, they're lacking feeble means they're lacking physical strength. And then Captain Tazaryak is saying women are stronger than men, and make it make sense as he's going off. It's the Strong's G7072. So they're weak. Let's get the infirm as too as well. Infirm, not physically or mentally strong, especially through age or illness. So we know it's talking about through age or illness, but regardless of the age of the woman, she is still weak. She's the weaker vessel. So let's get into it. Let's get into first Esdras. First Ezra chapter 3. Start at verse 3. And when they had eaten and drunken, and being satisfied, were gone home, then Darius the king went into the bedchamber and slept, and soon after awaked. Then 3 young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body spake one to another, Let every one of us speak a sentence. He that shall overcome, and whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, unto him shall the king Darius give great gifts and great things in token of victory. Out of the 3 young men, one who speaks the best sentence that will seem wiser than the others, then King Darius will give great gifts and great things in token of victory. So see verse 6. As to be clothed in purple, to drink in gold, to sleep upon gold, and a chariot with bridles of gold, and an head tire of fine linen, and a chain upon his neck. Verse 8. It's talking verse 7. And he shall sit next to Darius because of his wisdom, and shall be called Darius his cousin. And then everyone wrote his sentence and sealed it, and laid it under King Darius's pillow. Laid it under King Darius his pillow. Verse 9, and said that when the king is risen, some will give him the writings, and of those whose side the king and the 3 princes of Persia shall judge, and his sentence is the wisest, to him shall the victory be given as was appointed. The first wrote, wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is the strongest. The third wrote, women are the strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away the victory. And this is Zerubbabel speaking. He's the one who was chosen at the end. So we see this is letting you know that a woman as well, saying women are the strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away the victory. So above all things, the truth is above all things. So that's letting you know that women are the strongest, but truth is above it. So the truth is stronger. And we know that women tend to lie in these last days, and nothing new under the sun. They used to lie then too. So women don't stand on truth. Not saying all women, but most women do. Let's get this one is right here too as well, before we go back there. Ecclesiastes. Bear with me. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. It says Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Let's start at verse 26. I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her bands as in her hands is bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Yes, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. Her mind is showing you. Her mind is snares and nets. She's trying to trap you, keep you away from this word, keep you away from increasing in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and being led by the Spirit. She wants you to be carnal and be under her. She wants to rule over you. When Genesis 3:16, the man's supposed to rule over the woman. And whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her. So if you please Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you shall escape from her. Solomon's letting you know. But the sinner shall be taken by her. But the sinner is going to be taken by her, because the sinner is going to fall into the lusts, the God of his belly, the desires. Because we know that belly is going into desires. He's going to fall. That's why he will fall into the ways of a woman and let her rule over him. And just like how Jezebel ruled over Ahab. You have that Ahab spirit on you. And always had a hedge over a woman. Esther had Mordecai. Okay, Deborah had Barak. Okay, Deborah gave Barak the message, but did Deborah go in and fight? No, Barak went and fought in that war. So we see that she came with him, but she didn't fight in that war. Barak fought in that war, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And it shows you that the men are stronger than the women. Because if the woman was stronger than the men, then Deborah would have went and fought in that war. Sirach chapter 25, verse 24. Said, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So of the woman became the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. That's why you don't want to fall into the ways of a woman, man. This goes back into the garden, like what we showed, like what I was explaining. Of the woman became the beginning of sin. Through her we all die. Sirach chapter 25, verse 19. All the wickedness is but a little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And you see, like right there, all the wickedness is but a little to the wickedness of a woman, man. Women are wicked, but let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And like you could line that up with right here, Ecclesiastes 7:26. But the sinner shall be taken by her, and I find more bitter than than death the woman, because yes, the wickedness of a woman. It's letting you know wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman, because women are wicked, man. They want to rule over you, and they want to do as thou wilt type of philosophy on you, and do whatever they pleases them to their lusts, so on and so forth. So let's continue on in Ecclesiastes chapter. Yeah, and that's why you don't want to stumble on the beauty of a woman as well, too, because that's what a lot of people do. They make carnal decisions off just stumbling off the beauty of a woman, which I went into that as a different lesson for a different time. This is verse 28. Which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 I have found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So it's letting you know, one man out of 1,000 I have found one that is on point, that's righteous, but but a woman among those have I not found. Get this in NLT. Though how I have searched repeatedly, I have not found what I was looking for. Only one out of 1,000 men is virtuous, but one woman, but not one woman. Get that word, virtuous. Virtuous goes into righteous, like I'm saying. So out of one out of 1,000, Solomon has found men righteous, but a woman among 1,000, he has not found. So how much more today in these last days? Verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that Yahweh have made a man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. So he's letting you know, that Yahweh have made a man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. They followed, let's get this in the NLT, but I did find this: God created people to be virtuous, righteous, but they have each turned to follow their own downward path. So you're giving unto your inventions, that's your downfall. Like how it says in the NLT, but they have because you left the straight and narrow path once you went downward this path, not the straight and narrow, which Yahweh Shai said, strive for the straight gate. Let me read it in the NLT. But I have find this, that God created people to be virtuous, going into righteous, but they have each turned to follow their own downward path. Yeah, because like I was saying, when you're giving into your inventions, that's your downfall. That you followed they followed their own downward path. That's leaving righteous ways, man. You don't want to be given into your own devices, as the scriptures say too as well. You'll be given to your own devices, as it says in the book of Proverbs. But that's a downfall, because you follow their own downward path. You're following the woman too as well. That's a part of the downfall. Let's go back right here to First Esdras chapter 3. Verse 12. So I'll read it again. But the third-row women are the strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away the victory. So yeah, like I was getting into, man, like Solomon, he said that, out of 1,000, I haven't found a righteous woman, but men, I have found that. So it's showing you the men, 1 out of 1,000, will tell the truth instead of opposed to women. If women are stronger than men, then one of the 12 disciples would have been a woman, but it wasn't. And so as we can see, like that shows you, like as the example, like I showed Deborah and Barak too as well. Deborah didn't go out and fight that war. Barak did. She gave the message to him. She didn't go fight. She's not stronger than a man. Emotionally, the woman, that's why she doesn't go out there and teach on the highways and byways, because she's a weaker vessel. Her emotions would take control of her, and she would leave crying if she got in like a high intense talk with somebody over the scriptures. Even Judas, who betrayed Yahweh Shai, was aware than a woman, man. He ultimately got replaced by Mattathias. So this verse 12 is just going into, man, it's just letting you know that this is the point. He wrote, women are the strongest, but above all, truth beareth the victory. The men of truth, that's the hopeful elect, the 144,000, which Yahweh Shai would be at the head of that. And those are men of truth. That's going to be the kingdom. It's going to be a kingdom, not a queendom, which we know what queen means, a prostitute. I went into that before. And the elect, they're the ones that stand stiffly for the word of truth, as well as Yahweh Shai did as well in his walk. He was spot without blameless, as the scriptures say. He never sinned. So no woman is stronger than Yahweh Shai as well. Like, just proving that. Scriptures say he will not meet thee as a man. So when he comes back, he's going to be in an angelic force, in an immortal body. And, you know, Zerubbabel, this was him speaking. He said that's truth, earth the way the victory, and is above all things. So yeah, let's get to the next chapter. He goes more into it as well. First Esdras chapter 4 and verse 13. Then the third, who had spoken of woman and of truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. This is Zerubbabel, like I'm getting into. So he began to talk. Verse 14, O ye men, is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? So a man would have to give that woman that power, as we could see. Because a woman's just not going to get that power out of nowhere. It's going to have to be a man that's in that leadership role to give that woman power. So that's the only way that she would have lordship over them. There's no other way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. Man is going to be able to give that woman the power. The Bible calls these women the weaker vessel for a reason. The only simps are the ones who give the women that type of power and let them rule over them. Even these Orthodox Christian women know that the man is above the woman. And we'll get that 1 Corinthians 11 too after this. So verse 15, women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. So also a man has something to do with that too as well, you know, because they born the king. But how did that happen? Through the man's seed. And also all the people that bear rule by sea and land, that came from the man's seed, because that shows you that they came from the man's seed, and the man's seed is the one that pushes the legacy. And then that's how it goes. That's how the legacy, the seed, keeps being pushed and grows. That's why a man is known if he is an Israelite from the seed of his father, from his father, man. And Numbers 1:18 goes into that. Which in these last days we don't have to go off the seed of their fathers to know if they're an Israelite or not. We could just try the spirit, because the spirit bear witnesses that they are the children of Yahweh, as the scriptures say. We're going to go down to verse 34. Zerubbabel speaking still. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heavens, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about, fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not that great? Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. Not greater that maketh these things? Yeah, the Father Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, is the one who created all these things, man. Therefore great is truth, and stronger than all these things. It's just stronger than all these things, man. It's just truth is stronger than all these things. He's letting you know. So the truth is, man, it's stronger than a woman. We're going to continue on. Verse 36, all the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All the works shake at and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. It's talking about the truth, man. It's the strongest. Women, they lie. They're accustomed to lie too as well. So like I said in the beginning of this lesson, man, you gotta. There's nothing you can do against the truth but for the truth, because like it says in the book of Sirach chapter 4, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, because that's what it's all about. This truth is powerful, man. The men of the Lord, they stand upon truth, because like Zerubbabel said, that he's letting you know. Let's continue on. Verse 37, wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked. The children of men, it's just letting you know that these other nations, that's what that's getting into. Continuing on, and such are all their wicked works. There is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. Unrighteousness also they shall perish. Yeah, because if you stay in that unrighteousness state, you're going to be judged for it. All the two-thirds of our people are going to get eternal judgment for that. And among our people are wicked men as well too. We know that. It's like going into this, like Zerubbabel saying, the wine is wicked, and the men are wicked, and the women are wicked. Yeah, we know men are wicked, but some are chosen. Like Solomon said, out of 1,000, I have found righteous. So, Yahweh Shai and the 144,000 are righteous men that live off this truth and stand boldly for truth. Scriptures say right here too in verse 25. But the word of the Lord endureth forever, and this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. Yeah, so the word of the Lord, it remains forever. It's going to endure forever. And the word of the Lord, that's the word of truth. Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, he's the way, truth, and the life. Yahweh Shai, he's the light, man. Yahweh Shai is the word. So his words are true, man. He's the way, truth, and the life. It's gonna endure forever, man. It's not. It's above all things. Verse 37, and continuing on verse 37. So you see the elect, they have the truth, because they stand on that, and they're men of honor, integrity. They have no guile in their mouth. There's no spot or blameless like Yahweh Shai. That's how we ought to walk. Women are righteous, just not all of them, because they have to be in order underneath the man, having that hedge as well. And if they don't have a hedge, then they're going to be staying in contact with men of the Lord, trying to have a men of the Lord above you to the best of your ability. Verse 38, as for truth, it endureth. In 1 Peter 1, the word of the Lord endureth forever. That's that truth. As for the truth, it endureth, and it is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. It conquereth forevermore, man. So women are the weaker vessel, like I brought out already. And that tells you, it improves that these women, in the time of trouble, Jacob's trouble, when all hell's breaking loose, they're going to be bugging out. And when this society breaks out, man, they're going to be bugging out. In that movie, Leave the World Behind, too, they make it seem like the woman was bold, Julia Roberts. Like she stood her ground, like she wasn't just freaking out all the time. But that's cap, man. They're going to be freaking out and bugging out. And they're going to be fearful. They're going to be tripping out in fear. So the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai are faithful and true. So there's no lie in this word, man. Because God is not a man that he should lie, as the scriptures say. So this is going to come to pass, man. These prophecies are going to come to pass. Verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord had created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Yeah, this is a prophecy that Jeremiah talked about, and it's being fulfilled, man. As we can see, this is what a woman shall compass a man. That's what we see in these last days. That's why all these women are out of order, not having a father in the house. That's why Yahweh Shai said that, bind the strong man and they will spoil his goods. That's why a lot of the goods are spoiled in these houses, man. A lot of these families aren't properly ran, but with the father in the house that is guiding, that is ruling over the house as it's supposed to be, according to order, as Genesis 3:16, the man shall rule over thee. So they don't follow these type of ways. They don't follow the true ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the order, which is also through the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai that we need to have to be ordered to live righteously to the best of our ability, rehearsing the righteous acts. And that's why a lot of these houses are out of order, and it's just complete wickedness in the house. And that's why and that's not the way to be, man. So we can get right here too as well. Proverbs chapter 31. In verse 3, the Lemuel's mother speaking right here is letting letting the King Lemuel know. Right, letting King Lemuel know. This is Lemuel's mother speaking. Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3. Give not strength unto a woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. Even Lemuel's mother's letting you know, a woman's letting you know what time it is. Yeah, so it's letting you know, like, give not your strength unto a woman, man. Because if you give your strength unto a woman, you give her that power, she will destroy you, and she's gonna destroy herself in the process. So you don't want to give your strength unto a woman, because it destroys kings. Verse NLT, do not waste your strength on women, on those who ruin kings. Yeah, she ruins kings, man. That's why you don't want to give your strength unto her. Shouldn't let a woman rule over you, man. She's the weaker vessel. You're supposed to follow the order, 1 Corinthians 11. Follow the volume of this book. So going on as well, back to First Esdras. Let's read verse 38. As for truth, it endureth, it is always strong, it liveth and conquereth forevermore. It's always going to conquer forevermore, man. It's always going to rule. Verse 39. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works. Is that her? It's just talking about wisdom, man. It's not talking about a woman. Wisdom is personified as a woman. So he says it refraineth from all unjust and wicked things. And that's what you're supposed to do if you're in this wisdom, moving by wisdom in the spirit. You're supposed to refrain from all unjust and wicked things. You're supposed to refrain from all things, like abstain from fornication. You're supposed to stay away from that stuff, man. Hold yourself back away from that type of stuff. Someone that's in the truth, men of truth, they're going to stay away from unjust and wicked things. And that's what we ought to do in these last days. And all men do well like of her works. Yeah, the like of her works. That's the wisdom, man. You want to do the works of the wisdom, which is also following these law, statutes, and commandments, doing the works. Verse 40. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the God of truth. And there's no unrighteousness in the judgment of truth, man. It's all righteous judgment. Verse, like Yahushua said, judge a righteous judgment. Verse 41, and with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, great is truth and the mighty above all things. And there it is right there. That's the point. Great is the truth, mighty above all things. It's above women, man. It's truth is stronger than women. The men of the truth, the men of the Lord are going to be Yahushua and the hopeful elect, man, the 144,000 who stand on truth. Like I said, no guile in their mouth, as it says also as well in Revelation chapter 14. Zephaniah chapter 3, they're going to have no guile. On verse 42, then said the king unto him, ask thou wilt more than is appointed in the writing, and he will give it thee, because thou art found wisest, and thou shalt sit next to me and shalt be called my cousin. He got the highest position under King Darius because of his wisdom. Proverbs 31, like I was saying, a lot of simps, they give their power to the woman. And that's what we ought not to do. We ought to walk as Yahushua walked. Yahushua, he got it right after he fell to the woman, as Adam, and then as Solomon too. So he got it right after that. He's obedient unto death, and that's what we ought to be, obedient unto death. Let's get that one as well too. Verse 26, just get the point. Yeah, many there have been run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Yeah, so a lot of people have been desperate for women, and then they become servants for their sakes, and that's what we ought not to do. Because when you get that word right there, they run out of their wits for women, it also goes into being grown desperate. You don't want to be desperate for a woman. You just, if you want a wife, that's what you pray through faith, and you holler out, you get one. You don't want to grow desperate for women, because if you grow desperate for women and run out of your wits for women and become servants for their sake, she's ruling over you, and you're going to fall into sin by getting desperate and making carnal moves, carnal decisions. Verse 27, many also have perished and erred and sinned for women. So we see also many people have perished, they have died, they have erred, they've been led astray, for falling out of the straight and narrow, and they have sinned for women. So people have left the straight and narrow of the simplicity in Yahushua as well in these last days for women as well. They lost the faith, and it went with women as well. Let the woman roll over them. And that's what we ought not to do. We ought to stay in the ways of Yahushua. Get this one right here too as well. Judges chapter 9. The book of Judges chapter 9. In verse Start at verse 52. And Abimelech came unto the tower and fought against it and went hard unto the door and the door of the tower to burn it with fire. He followed them to attack the tower, but as he prepared, to set fire to the entrance, let's see what happens. As he went hard into the door of the tower to burn it with fire. And a certain woman cast a piece of a millstone upon Abimelech's head, and all to break his skull. Yeah, so you see the woman dropped a millstone that landed on Abimelech's head and crushed his skull. So if women were stronger than men, why would she have to drop a millstone on his head? Why didn't she just beat him up? Yeah, because if she was stronger than him, they could have just beat him up to death. Just going into it as an example. Verse 54, then he called hastily unto the young man his armor bearer and said unto him, draw thy sword and slay me, that men say not of me, a woman slew me. And his young man thrust him through and he died. So we see that's how important it was for him not to say that a woman slayed him, man, because women are not stronger than men as well. Just proving the point. He knows he didn't want to go out like that, saying as he died. The reason he died was because of a woman, okay? Because the women are the weaker vessel. So let's get this in the NLT. He quickly said to his young armor bearer, draw your sword and kill me. Don't let it be said that a woman killed Abimelech. So the young man ran him through with his sword and he died. He didn't want it to be said that a woman killed him. So we see that that's how important it is to prove, man, women are not stronger than men, because we know the order. 1 Corinthians 11, we're going to get that as well too. But Abimelech knew that a woman is not stronger than me. I don't want to go out like that, man. I'm not going to be the one that everyone said, hey, a woman killed me, because I don't want that to be the end saying of me, of my death, that a woman killed me. I would rather die from a man, because a man is stronger than a woman, and a man is above the woman, as we go right here into 1 Corinthians 11. Like it says in Sirach too, you got to have that hedge. It says in 1 Corinthians 11, from the chart, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach. So we need to be followers of Yahushua, even as also Paul is a follower of Hamashiach as well. Verse 2, now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I have delivered them unto you. You got to remember Paul and all these things and keep the ordinances, man. We got to follow these ways, these teachings that Paul has passed unto us. We can't go against these. If not, it's not going to go well for you. You're not going to be prospering in the ways of Yahweh Shem Mashiach Malak Yahushai as you're supposed to be. Verse 3, but I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a Mashiach is Yahweh. So you see, this is the order, man. And that the head of the man is a Mashiach, the head of the woman is the man. So there's no way that a woman would be stronger than a man if the man is above the woman. And the head of a Mashiach is Yahweh. So this is the order that we ought to follow. So the head of the man is a Mashiach, and the head of a Mashiach is Yahweh. So this is the order we have to follow in these last days. Captain Tazariak is going off, so stay away from him and repent if you follow his doctrine. Even in the New Testament, there's no captains. Like IUIC follows that too. There's deacons, bishops, elders. There's no captains. That's going off. That was in the time of Moses. That's not in the time of now. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem and Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Peace, salutations to the whole elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning and teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity, waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior Yahushai Mashiach. Shalom.